What's up, gang? Episode 9. It's been a minute since I recorded a video. The part of that was because I had to figure some things out on my own in terms of what this project has been, and I needed the space to do it. But the exciting news is uh, there's some really cool things that have happened over the last, I don't even know when the last time, let me check, probably like a week or two. When did I post this last video? Episode 8 was posted. Oh shoot, I can't find it. Anyway, it has been a while since I last posted. Let's call it a week or two. And so today I'm going to show you what I've learned, what I've done. We've gotten a ton of leads. I've booked like 30 patients into a practice. All good things. But I've also realized there's an opportunity in a little bit smaller of a niche within healthcare that is going to pay substantially more. So that's what I'm going to show with you guys today. Before I get into the good stuff, I want to share a quick little like story from this morning. It's more really of a reminder. Anyway, the story is maybe the beginning of the year. I met someone who was involved in the pharmacy business. I don't want to put too much details out there, but basically they were growing rapidly. Um, you know, larger than life persona, um, to the point where it like this person made it very clear they were making a lot of money, right? Let's just say that. And it's a very alluring thing to look at or to see and to watch. Like, how does someone do so well so fast? Long story short, it is now August, right? So it's like, what is that? 8 months later, almost 9 months later, I find out that they're involved in a lot of fraud, right? I am not I'm not, and I'm not sharing this to be a hater. I'm sharing this because um sometimes it like when you're building something, you want the result quickly. But like there's that saying of easy come, easy go, right? And I'm sharing this as a reminder. It was a reminder for myself, but it's also I wanted to share that reminder with you because I also have friends that I spend a lot of time with. These are like close friends. And I know that they busted their ass for years, didn't get any results for years. And they do very well for themselves now, but it took so much time. And they tell me the stories of when they were eating ramen because that's all they could afford, or they would drive their car to a meeting and they would hide their car because it was like some shit box that they didn't want anyone to see because they were embarrassed to for anyone to see it. But now, like these guys are driving the nicest cars that you could possibly have. I'm talking about like your Ferraris, your Lambos, Porsches, G-Wagons, like you name it. So again, I'm sharing this because there's this like fake idea of like I can make a lot of money really fast, which is possible. I'm not saying it's not possible, but maybe this is just my own worldview and like what I've seen in my own life. But the people that I know that have like lasting success, they struggled a lot for a lot of years early on. They're very conscious of about how they spend their money now, but they just have so much that they're okay. But it took them a long time to do something great. I guess that's kind of what I'm trying to share, right? Because there's also people that I know that made a lot of money really quickly. They spent it and they flaunted it and they flashed it. They made a lot of money in a short period of time, and that did not last, right? So I guess that's the reminder and the lesson of it is like, look, like whatever you decide to do, again, I'm including myself in this. Like, it takes time to build something great. Don't try to rush it. If it happens fast, great. But realize that like all the things that you do along the way are lessons that you learn. It's kind of like the foundation, right? You're building your foundation. And if things are not working out quickly right away, that's totally okay. You're learning lessons along the way, and those lessons will give you something that's going to last for a very long time. So, I haven't gotten to that top level yet, full disclosure, but I am friends with the people that are, and this is what they tell me. So when I see that and when I see these stories of fraud and like quick money, it just kind of it puts things into perspective for me to say, listen, like good things happen. Good things take a lot of time, right? So just be patient, do your best every single day. That's all you can really do. And like, just be a good person. Like, don't involve yourself in fraud. I don't know what else to say on that note. That's like a moral, ethical thing. Anyway, just wanted to share that because I saw it, I experienced it for myself, and I wanted to, I thought it'd be relevant to share with you guys. Anyway, let's do this. I'm gonna just dive into it. I'm gonna go like into a recap of what I've been doing. How do I always? Oh no. Okay. So again, the whole point of this series is to be as transparent as I possibly can. Like, I want to share with you guys exactly what I'm doing. And this is, if you're trying to either build a new business, you have an existing business and you want to learn how to do advertising to drive more customers into that business, or you work for someone and you want to learn how to do advertising and marketing and generate a ton of leads, then like, that's what I'm going to show you. So you can, however you want to use it, even if you want to copy me and do the same exact thing, I don't really care. Like, go ahead, knock yourself out. However this is valuable to you, the whole point of this is I'm sharing how to build highly profitable advertising campaigns. That's really the punchline here. And I'm trying to be as transparent as possible. So, okay. I forget exactly where I left off, but over the last 2 weeks, there's a few things. I started with um knee pain, like literally like your knee, right? Um, I started going after that because I knew that knee pain was a big problem. And a lot of people experienced it. Tons of people have knee osteoarthritis. You can go back to the first videos to see how I got to that point. But that's why I started with knee. Anyway, I sent a ton of patients over to a doctor. It's a group of doctors, and ultimately, what I was doing was I was generating these leads, right? So you got 144, almost 200 leads here. Excuse me. There's actually more because this one had a bunch of leads in there as well. Uh, Actually, it's not that much, but let's call it 200 leads, right? Like 200 leads. What I was doing was I was generating the leads. The leads were going into HubSpot, which is HubSpot is essentially like a CRM. Well, what is a CRM? And I would call the leads. I would speak with them. I would ask like, these are people who had knee pain, right? I would say, hey, listen, like, thanks for, what would I say? I'd say, thanks for filling out the information about knee pain. I just wanted to give you a call, see what was going on, and then ultimately point you in the right direction. So I would have these conversations with these leads, and they would tell me, hey, listen, like, I have bone-on-bone knee osteoarthritis. I'm in tons of pain. I don't want to have a surgery. I'm looking for other solutions. That was the gist of the conversation. Then from that, I would have the doctor kind of share what they do with me, and I would explain to the patient. I'd say, hey, listen, like, we have these non-surgical alternatives, whether it was like some sort of injection, whether it was some new procedure, whether it was a minimally invasive procedure, some of it was even stem cell. Like, there were all these different options. And ultimately, I would say, listen, like, if you're looking for a non-surgical procedure, go to this doctor. I would help them find a location close to them and book an appointment and speak with the doctor and see what happens. Long story short, of the 200, we booked about, I want to say 18, I think it was 18 patients, right? So 18 patients, let me just do the math on that. 200 out of 18. Actually, it's the other way around. Whoops, math. So it's like 9%, right? I think it was a little over 18, but let's just say 9%. So 9% of my leads actually booked an appointment, which is kind of what I was looking for, right? Like, if we go back to the funnel that I was doing on FigJam, I was ultimately creating this like marketing campaign, or this like sales process, and the whole point of the sales process was to get a new person into the business. So for them to show up and have an appointment, that's a win, right? Um, that was this right over here. So So if we go over here, oh, how do I zoom in? Oh, that's a little too much. Here we go. Okay, so if we look at this, right, I'm building Facebook ads, Instagram ads, basically online advertising. I am sending them to a website, and the website is basically I'm sharing like a free guide, or I'll even show you some of them. Here, look, here's some of the guides that I had created. They're nothing like, it's not like amazing, but they are options, right? Some of them, one was a stem cell, right? So this was like a little guide that I put together. It's all like real information from online, like other studies. I'm just pulling it and kind of like designing it for my own. This is like another one. This is like everything that you could possibly do. This is actually for spine, but just as an example of like, basically where is this? People are going to that website and they're getting like that document. They're like, hey, look, like I'm saying, would you like to get, learn all the alternatives for a knee surgery? Would you like to learn all the alternatives for a spine surgery? Do you want to see the effectiveness of stem cells, right? So I'm giving something in exchange, I'm getting their information, right? So that's how I'm generating all of these leads, right? Some of them are very expensive, like 66 bucks per lead, which I obviously stopped doing. Some of them are, under 10. If I can get like $5 to $10 leads, like that's a great scenario. So anyway, I've got online advertising. I'm sending them to a website that gives them more information. And then from that information, they're going to a CRM. I upgraded from Google to HubSpot. And I am calling these leads and I'm saying, hey, listen, if you need help, let me help you find a local doctor. I will find the doctor and I'll check your insurance. I don't actually check the insurance. The doctor's office checks the insurance, but that's basically my handoff process. And if they book an appointment, great. If they get a procedure, even better, right? That just means more. But my job is to go from finding someone that has a problem and getting them into the office. That's my job. So that's what I've been doing up until recently, right? I was doing, so let's go back a little bit, right? So that's the process. I started this with knee pain, right? With like actual people who had knee pain. But what I realized after doing that, and I had recorded all those videos up until this point, what I realized is that it took so much work for me to get those patients in the door, that I ultimately felt like it wasn't really worth my time, right? So um, I ultimately shifted to spine injuries. And the reason why I shifted to spine injuries is because just frankly, spine injuries pay more, right? The doctor makes more when you have a spine injury or when they operate on a spine injury or when they do a procedure for a spine injury. The spine specialists make more than the knee specialists. That's ultimately what it came down to. So if those guys made more, my thought process was, okay, if they make more, I can ask for more. It's as simple as that, right? So that's what I did for the 2 weeks that I kind of went quiet, and it worked out really well. This is kind of what I had worked on. I got like 80 leads. I sent them to the doctor. A lot more went to the doctor. I think it was like 12 or something like that. I don't know exactly. Let's call it 10, right? So it's like, what is that? So it's like 12%. So it's a little bit better than 10%, right? 10%, 12% of leads booked an appointment, right? So it's a little bit better than the knee. Probably because I've also figured out a little bit more since then, but that's ultimately it. But when I went to the doctor and I asked them, hey, listen, like you have these patients now, what's the quality of these patients? Like, are they going to really pay off for you? Because like for me, I don't really want to do anything unless I'm making 10 to 15,000 a month from one doctor. And the only way for them to pay me 10 to $15,000 a month is for the value of the patient to be like a very valuable patient, right? So ultimately, um, okay, hopefully there's no like valuable information. Like, the good thing about this is like, because a lot of you guys, there's not a lot of people watching this series, I'm willing to be a little bit more open about it. But of the 12 patients that I sent that had a spine injury, right? So this is like typically they have typically they have like they fell down, or they have degenerative disc disease, or they have a herniated disc, or something of that sorts. Um, that's what I'm ultimately targeting. What I found was like, so these are a lot of these people, a lot of them did not work out because like let's just pull up this one. Let me see if I could find like the example. There should be a closed lost reason. Uh, okay, all right. So this one was no doctor coverage in her area. So basically, the reason why, basically, so she was in New York. I didn't have any doctors there that were close enough for her. So that was the reason why that one didn't work out. Um, let's find this one. Let's see what happened here. But ultimately, like the whole reason why a lot of them didn't work out was because they had Medicare or Medicaid, and this is like, yeah. So like, so here's the deal, right? So this is like kind of an unfortunate reality of medicine. You have like private insurance, you have Medicare and Medicaid, which are like federal and state funded. I'm pretty sure it's all federal, either federal or, let's call it, federal funded programs. Medicare is for those who are 65 and up. Medicaid are for those who are under a certain income level, so that they cannot afford your typical private insurance. But the large majority of people have Medicare or Medicaid. So for me to send patients like that, they don't really pay well. So even if I send 100 patients, they don't, the unfortunate reality with healthcare is that the type of insurance you have matters a lot for the doctor. So just as an example, if a spine doctor is going to do like a procedure on someone's spine, and they have like a herniated disc, if they have Medicare, that doctor might only make, like, I'm not even exaggerating, $500 to $1,500, right? I mean, these are like your spine specialists. This is like the head honchos of surgery, right? For them to make $500, $1,000, even 2,000, 3,000 bucks on some spine related procedure, it's just not worth their time, because they also have like medical malpractice insurance, and like they have like other things that eat up at that amount. So they basically make nothing. Whereas if someone has private insurance, which these are typically your wealthier individuals, again, as much as I hate to say this, this is the reality of medicine right now. Um, Wealthier individuals have like better coverage plans. Typically, they're called PPOs. I think it's called preferred provider organizations. Basically, as when you have a PPO plan, you can go see anyone, and those plans pay the doctor better. So the doctors usually only want to see that. That same surgery, if someone has a PPO plan with private insurance, the doctor might make $15,000, $20,000, which is a massive difference for the same thing, right? The last part of this is personal injury. So personal injury, you've probably seen these billboards all over the place on the highway. But ultimately, I'll give like the 101. Personal injury in New Jersey, if you have a car and you drive and you have auto insurance, you have something called PIP, which is personal injury protection. When you get into an accident, if you and you may hire an attorney, you may not hire an attorney, but if you use that personal injury protection, you're not using your private insurance, you're not using your Medicare, you're not using your Medicaid, you're using your auto insurance to pay for your health bills because you got into an accident, because you got hurt due to an accident, right? That insurance pays really, really well. Okay. So doctors have realized this. And again, like, as much as they want to help everyone, it doesn't make sense for a doctor to do a surgery that they're not going to get paid on, right? So they're trying to focus on the private plans. If they could choose, they would want to get private plans and personal injury insurance, because they just pay a lot better. So anyway, long story short, for me and how this is relevant, a lot of what I was sending was Medicare and Medicaid, which doesn't really pay well. So I can't ask for a premium on my services if the type of clientele I'm bringing in are not going to, like, it's not going to back out for the doctor, right? However, if I focus my time and my efforts on personal injury, or like private plans are really hard to target. I mean, maybe you have an idea on how to target them. I'm not totally sure personally, but I feel like it was a lot more, it may be easier to target personal injury than it is going to be a specific insurance plan. So what I'm going to do now is, so that's kind of, I guess, like up, how I've gotten up until this point. I was able to get the patients in the door. I know the system works. It's working really well, right? Now I need to focus on the quality of the patient. So I'm going to shift a little bit, and that's what this next week, I'm going to focus on building like personal injury specific patients, or advertising that's going to attract that type of patient. What else is important? I mean, I guess that's kind of like everything up until this point. So yeah, I mean, I know, like, I'm trying to think of what else is like valuable to share here. That's really it. I guess I'm going into like a more specific niche. Let me take a second, just think about this. What else is valuable here? I mean, that's really it. Oh, here, I'll tell you this. I mean, this is, again, like, I feel like part of me this can hurt, but maybe it won't. So in this space, right, I've been asking doctors, like, again, like, for me, it's not worth my time if I'm gonna get like some $2,000 check at the end of the month. Like, it's not. I need to be able to make 10 to 15,000 minimum per client for me to spend my time on this, right? So I started asking the doctors, hey, like, if someone is going to get this much, like, or you're going to charge someone, oh my, if you're going to pay someone that much, what is your expectation, right? So for me, a marketer, to make $10,000 to $15,000 per practice, I need to be able to bring 10 to 30 patients a month, right? Which, that's a big range. And the reason why it's a big range is because some patients might only need like minor help, like physical therapy or chiropractic care. And those patients obviously make money, but the patients that will need a surgery, those patients are going to really make a lot of money for the practice. So if I bring in just a few, even if I bring like 2 patients that need a back surgery a month, that's 15, 20, 30K a month for me that I can make all day. So that's what the value is. But if I don't bring in surgeries, I need to bring a lot of volume in on people who just have pain and need a little bit of help, chiropractic care. Maybe they need like some cortisone injections or something of that sorts. So that's kind of where it's at right now. I guess that's like a quick summary of like everything I've gotten to and how I've gotten to everything I've done and how I've gotten to where I gotten to now. So like just a quick recap, because I'll probably end the video soon. I started this with like knee pain. I realized that the amount of effort that I had to put for the value that I was going to give wasn't really there. So I had to shift to a bigger problem, a more painful problem, a problem that pays better. So if I went from knee pain to spine, like back pain and spinal injuries. And then I started doing spine injuries, and I realized that, okay, I'm able to get patients in the door, which is like the best thing that I could possibly do, because that's validation that the system is working, but I'm not getting the right patients in the door. So because I got the spine patients in, but it was mostly like let's call them bad insurances, for lack of a better word. But now I know that this works. I need to focus on getting a type of insurance, which is personal injury or private insurance, that if those same type of patient comes in the door, they're going to be big money makers for the doctors. Now, there's like, obviously, look, it's unfortunate because this is healthcare, and you want to help everyone that, like, this is kind of a whole other video. I actually I don't have an answer for it, but like, again, like, just think about this. Like, let me just show you guys something. Like, I have had I've probably done like 200 phone calls in the last 30 days minimum with people. And these are 200 phone calls with patients, right? So I'm like very intimately listening to them and understanding their problem and trying to help them. So like 261 calls in the last 30 days. Most of it is probably like in the last 2 weeks, right? So I have been on the phone speaking with patients all the time. And it's like really sad to hear that like you almost can't help them if they have Medicare or Medicaid, right? It's not just the doctor I'm working with. Almost all doctors are not really willing to take them because they don't make any money and they still carry all the risk of some sort of medical malpractice issue, which I don't know the details of medical malpractice, but that's at least what they tell me. It's just not worth it for them. So um, you want to help everyone, but there's clearly a broken system. I don't know what the solution is. I wish I had more to say on it, but I don't. So anyway, that's kind of everything up until this point. This next week, I'm going to focus on doing the same thing that I'm doing, back injuries for personal injuries specifically. If you guys have any questions, let me know. That's kind of all I can think about right now. That's kind of the updates that have happened so far. So yeah, that's the video. Comment if you have any questions. If you want any specifics on what I am doing or want details on like the advertising side, just let me know and I'll dive into things deeper. But yeah, until next time, that's episode 9. That's a wrap. I'll see you guys on episode 10. Thanks for watching.